Zeldal's method is not used in some cases. For example, in the case of nitro groups. What is meant by nitro group? Can anybody say what is meant by a nitro group? What is the formula of nitro group? Anyone? Please respond. What is the formula of nitro group? Nitro group means single bond NO2.
NO2.
In the organic chemistry, in the functional groups, we discussed it. Single bond NO2 is called as nitro group. So whenever nitrogen is bonded with oxygens, that is N double bond O, dative bond O. NO2 group is represented as N double bond O, dative bond O. Whenever nitro group is there, as well as azo group is there. Azo group means single bond N, double bond N, single bond N, double bond N, single bond. This group is called as azo group. Single bond N, double bond N, single bond group is called as azo group, as well as nitroso group. Here you can see the formula nitroso group, that is single bond NO, single bond NO, that is called as azo group, that is represented as single bond N, double bond O. Single bond N, double bond O group is called as nitroso group. Nitroso group. And in some compounds, the compounds having azo and azoxy, azo as well as azoxy. What is azo? Just now I said single bond N, double bond N, single bond group is called as azo group. Then what is meant by azoxy? Azoxy means, here you can see azoxy group. Azoxy group means single bond N, double bond N, single bond, and one of the nitrogen, double bonded nitrogen, is going to be bonded with oxygen. Then this group is called as azoxy group. And one more, nitrogen in the ring. For example, pyridine. All of you know pyridine. Pyridine. What is the structure of pyridine? It is just like benzene ring. But one of the carbon in the benzene ring is replaced with nitrogen. Here nitrogen is going to have one lone pair. This structure is called as pyridine. So whenever nitrogen is present in the organic compound and the nitrogen is present in the ring, for such compounds also, we are not going to use which method? Zeldal's method is not applicable. Zeldal's method is not applicable, or Zeldal's method is not used for the estimation of nitrogen in these compounds. Once again, for which type of compounds? For nitro compounds, azo compounds, azoxy compounds, and nitrogen in the ring compounds. For example, pyridine, quinoline. For all these compounds, if we want to estimate the percentage of nitrogen, Zeldal's method is not used. Only the Dumas method is used. And one more. Here you can see this method, that is the Zeldal's method, is simpler and more convenient and is mainly used for finding out the percentage of nitrogen in foodstuffs. Foodstuffs means we are using protein food. Proteins. What are meant by proteins? What are meant by proteins? Proteins are nothing but polymeric forms of amino acids, alpha amino acids. Proteins are the polymeric forms of alpha amino acids. Amino acids contain nitrogen. So the nitrogen present in the foodstuffs can be estimated by using Zeldal's method. And soil. The soil also contains nitrogen. We are using nitrogen fertilizers for increasing the productivity of the soil. To increase the productivity of the soil, we are going to use the nitrogen fertilizers. If soil is not having the nitrogen, we have to know whether the soil is having the nitrogen or not. So that's why to estimate the percentage of nitrogen in the soil, we are going to use the Zeldal's method. And if any fertilizer is there, if we want to know whether nitrogen is there in the fertilizer or not, then we are using the Zeldal's method. So for foodstuffs, soils, for fertilizers, and for various agricultural products, we are using Zeldal's method, but not for nitro groups, azo groups, azoxy groups, and the compounds in which nitrogen is in the ring. For example, like pyridine and quinoline. Right, that is about important note of Zeldal's method. Yes, moving to the next topic. Yes, all of you see the board. Yes, on the screen you can see now. Yes, on the screen you are seeing clearly now. Next one is estimation of halogens by Carriers method. Here you have to remember this name, Carriers method. Carriers method is used for estimation of halogens. How many types of halogens are there? How many halogens are there, or how many types of halogens are there? What are the examples of halogens? What are the examples of halogens? Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, but not astatine. But not astatine. Only fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine are called as halogens. But fluorine is not estimated by Carriers method. Only chlorine, bromine, and iodine are estimated by Carriers method. See this one here. Halogen is there. From where this halogen is going to come? From the organic compound. From the organic compound. When the organic compound is taken, the organic compound containing halogen, that is going to be reacted with silver nitrate. AgNO3 is called as silver nitrate, and with concentrated nitric acid. Then halogen present in the organic compound is going to react with silver ions. That halogen is going to be precipitated. In the chemistry lab, already we done identification of chlorine and identification of bromine. Do you remember? Halogen containing salt reacts with silver nitrate solution in presence of concentrated nitric acid, that gives white precipitate. If it is the white precipitate, then we can say it is silver chloride. If it is a pale yellow color precipitate, then we can say it is silver bromide. If it is the yellow color precipitate, complete yellow color precipitate, then we can say it is a silver iodide. Please mute yourself. If you want to answer, then only open your mic. So whenever a halogen is there in the organic compound, the organic compound containing halogen is treated with silver nitrate in presence of concentrated nitric acid. Then halogen present in the organic compound is going to be precipitated in the form of silver halides. For example, silver chloride or silver bromide or silver iodide. Silver chloride formula. What is the formula of silver chloride? What is the formula of silver chloride? Anybody?
AgCl3.
AgCl3.
Ag?
Cl3.
Cl3.
Okay. Ag contains +1 charge. Chlorine contains -1 charge. Silver chloride formula is AgCl. On the screen you are clearly seeing, but you are not observing. You are not observing. AgCl. For your convenient, for your sake, for your understand, I already displaying on the screen, but you are not watching the screen. You are not observing the screen. The formula of silver chloride is AgCl. The formula of silver bromide is AgBr. The formula of silver iodide is AgI. Right? So by using the Carriers method to calculate the percentage of chlorine, the formula, take the screenshot. Percentage of chlorine. The percentage of chlorine is equal to, mute yourself, ma. Somebody is opened a mic. Percentage chlorine is equal to 35.5 by 143.3 into weight of AgCl formed. This is going to be. Who's that person opening the mic? Percentage chlorine is equal to 35.5 by 143.3 into weight of AgCl formed. This will be given in the question itself. This will be given in the question itself. And the weight of the compound is also going to be given in the question itself. Into 100. So just you have to substitute the given values. In the Carriers method, to calculate the percentage of chlorine, just you have to substitute the given values in this formula. And what is this 35.5? Atomic weight of chlorine. What is this 143.3? Gram molecular weight of AgCl. Here, weight of AgCl formed is taken. Here we are going to take gram molecular weight of AgCl. So if you understand this formula, like that, remaining two formulas, that is percentage of bromine is equal to atomic weight of bromine. Atomic weight of bromine is 80 by gram molecular weight of AgBr, silver bromide, into weight of AgBr formed by weight of the compound into 100. Like that, percentage of iodine also. Percentage of iodine is equal to 127. What is this 127? Atomic weight of iodine by 235 is the gram molecular weight of silver iodide, AgI. 235 is indicating gram molecular weight of silver iodide. So 127 is the atomic weight of iodine. 235 is the gram molecular weight of silver iodide into weight of silver iodide formed by weight of the compound into 100. If I say these three formulas, they are very similar to each other. Instead of weight of silver chloride, here we are taking weight of silver bromide. Here we are taking weight of silver iodide. Instead of 143.3, here we are taking 188. What is this 143.3 means? Gram molecular weight of silver chloride. Here 188 is gram molecular weight of silver bromide. 235 is the gram molecular weight of silver iodide. So this is the method known as Carius method. The Carius method is used for the estimation of chlorine. In the estimation of chlorine, what are the reagents used? Silver nitrate in presence of concentrated nitric acid. So that is about estimation of halogens by Carius method. Next method is again Carius method for the estimation of sulfur. Whenever an organic compound containing sulfur, that sulfur containing organic compound is heated with fuming nitric acid. The formula of nitric acid is HNO3. When an organic compound containing sulfur is going to be heated with fuming nitric acid, the sulfur of organic compound is converting into sulfuric acid. Then the sulfuric acid, which is obtained from the organic compound, is treated with barium chloride. Then the sulfur of organic compound is going to be precipitated in the form of barium sulfate. So how the sulfur is precipitated? Sulfur of organic compound is precipitated in the form of barium sulfate. Then see the formula. Just like in the previous formulas, percentage of sulfur is equal to 32. 32 is indicating atomic weight of sulfur. 32 is indicating the atomic weight of sulfur. 233 is indicating gram molecular weight of barium sulfate. Gram molecular weight of barium sulfate into weight of barium sulfate formed by weight of organic compound into 100. So this is also the formula just similar to the previous formulas. So that is halogens, chlorine, bromine, iodine and sulfur are estimated by the method Carius method. And one more method, again the same Carius method for estimation of phosphorus. Now we are taking an organic compound containing phosphorus. That organic compound containing phosphorus is precipitated in the form of Mg2P2O7. Then to calculate the percentage of phosphorus in the given organic compound, formula 62 by 222. Here you will get it out. Sir, what is this 62? What is the formula of phosphorus? What is the symbol of phosphorus? What is the symbol of phosphorus? P. What is the atomic number of phosphorus? The atomic number of phosphorus is 15. The atomic number of phosphorus is 15. What is the gram molecular weight of phosphorus? Phosphorus, what is the symbol of phosphorus? P4. If it is the elemental form, the formula is P4. If I take the gram molecular weight, then I can say that 15 into 4. Is it 15 into 4? Is it 15 into 4? It is not the 15 into 4. Here, phosphorus is going to be taken in the form of P2. P2. And then, if the atomic number is 15, atomic weight is going to be 31. The atomic weight of phosphorus is going to be 31. 15 is indicating the atomic number. The 15 is indicating atomic number of phosphorus. 31 is indicating atomic weight of phosphorus. So when P2 is taken, then gram molecular weight of phosphorus is equal to gram molecular weight of P2 is equal to 62. So this 62 is indicating gram molecular weight of P2. 222 is indicating gram molecular weight of Mg2P2O7 multiplied with weight of Mg2P2O7 formed by weight of the organic compound into 100. So this formula is also similar to the previous formulas. So again, we can say that this is also the Carius method. So by using the Carius method, which type of elements can be estimated from the organic compound? By using the Carius method, we can estimate percentage of chlorine, percentage of bromine, percentage of iodine, percentage of sulfur, and percentage of phosphorus. Here just you have to remember the formulas. then only you can do the calculations. Yes, less than 1 minute is there. And lastly, it is about the estimation of oxygen. To estimate the oxygen, there is no direct method is there. So we have to estimate the remaining elements of the organic compounds by taking the sum of the remaining elements percentages by subtracting from 100. Then we will get the percentage of oxygen. So this is all about estimation of other elements present in the organic compounds. The methods are known as quantitative analysis. So this is all about today's class. If any doubts are there, you can call me on my WhatsApp number before 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. Yes. Is the class is understood?